keep that in mind. So no tap water.
On the Spanish moss. Great.
That is the secret.
So exciting having you here.
Now it's my pleasure, Cheryl. Now, Daphne, what can I say? Yeah. It's the most fragrant flower on the market. It's an absolute delight. How do you like that, Cheryl? What do you think? Do I have your permission to have
absolutely.
a bit of a haircut? So just at the base, now it's a woody stem, which means that they're very thirsty drinkers. And always remember, folks, you've got to slip on the heels and shave off the legs. Any foliage in water is a haven for bacteria. This is the Grandiflora magnolia. And as you can see, I've come very well prepared because it's too far up for me to cut any plant material. So what you do, using your pruning secateurs designed to cut into woody stems, up the ladder, holding onto a branch, cutting at the base of the branch, just like so. And there you have it, folks. Talk about two-faced foliage. Green on one side, brown on the other. Okay, now this is where it all begins. As you can see, to my right-hand side, I've got my grouped floral contestants. And the reason why we do that, because it saves breakage and time, and it's easier for me to identify what is what from the other. Now, before we get started on the creative floral side of floristry, I'm going to run you through what floral arrangements I have in mind. Now, don't forget it's a baby shower, so we need to make it extremely eye candy. Now, I'm going to be starting off with the long and low arrangement, and as you can see there, it's a plastic tray. We're going to be filling it up with wet oasis. So just like that, we've soaked the oasis for 5 minutes, placing the grid face down with your second brick right behind the first brick. Now, if you're after extra security, I recommend hot tape. Secure it underneath the plastic tray, give it a bit of a snip, pulling it towards you, and again securing it underneath the black tray. Now, just like humans, we all have skeletons, and when it comes to floral arranging, the skeleton is the foliage. So you need to get the foliage right, because that is going to secure what shape you're looking for. So the foliage that I'm going to be using today is, remember me earlier when I was cutting away at the Magnolia grandiflora? Well, we're going to be using that foliage, and we're also going to be using the foliage of the scented camellia. Okay, now this is the Magnolia grandiflora, and as you can see, it's quite two-faced in tone. Brown leaf at the back and glossy green at the front. Well, we are going to be using that as foliage in this floral long low arrangement. We've got some ivy, and it's got some berries on it to add some texture, and some camellia. So I think it's about time we get very creative. Okay, so using your pruning secateurs, and the reason why I say pruning secateurs is because foliage predominantly has a woody stem. So we need to make sure that when we cut away from the branch that we're not doing it any damage. Any damaged stems means that you're not going to get long-lasting floral displays. So just like that, we're giving it a haircut. I'll just move that away from the front so you can see exactly what's going on. And just like that, we are cutting away from the stem. Remember when I said shaving off the leg? Because that makes the clear way, well, hair-free, I suppose. And just like that, we're placing it into the oasis, repeating the process. Now, when it comes to long, low arrangements, I like to look at it as a fringe. So this is the fringe area, and the sides are the wispy ends that more or less sit on your face. Okay, the next plant material, or foliage, is the magnificent Magnolia grandiflora. Now I'm going to be adding it to this mixture of camellia leaves because it's going to add some texture, not just texture, colour. Green comes in different shades, and that's what we're playing with today. So we've got the darker green, and then against it is the lighter green. Okay, now we're going to be using the ivy. Now, as you can see, it's laced with a berry. Now, they like to say that it's called the poison ivy. Don't take my word for it, but it certainly is very effective when it comes to floral arranging. Okay, now the greenery is done, and what we're going to do is we're going to be adding a bit of lip gloss to it. And what do I mean by that? Now, as you can see, it's a matte finish, and I want to gloss it up a bit. And just like that. Okay, now that's all done, and we're going to be moving on to some colour and fragrance. And what I've got to work with today is some Casablanca lilies. And what I'm going to be doing with that is I'm not going to be using my pruning secateurs, which is designed for woody stems. I'm going to start using my normal secateurs. And just like that, we're giving it a bit of a snip on an angle because it makes the insert a lot more easier into the oasis. And just like that, we're placing in the Casablanca lily. Now this is a very fragrant plant material and very long lasting. Okay, now this is the most famous plant material ever, the fragrant rose. And I'm going to be lacing the long low arrangement amongst the Casablanca lily. Now this is a rose stripper. And just like that, holding it with a grip and pulling down, no more hairy legs. And remember, we're going to be slipping on the heels. So just like that, the diagonal cut, and that's ready for some dancing. Now this is a fragrant Daphne that Cheryl and I earlier cut from her fragrant bush, and I'm going to be implementing it amongst the beautiful plant materials that I've used earlier. So we've got the Casablanca lily, which is fragrant, the rose, which is fragrant, and good things come in three, they say, and I'm using the Daphne. Okay. Now this is the glorious Cymbidium orchid, and as you can see, there's a lot of heads on this stem. Now that's not going to be effective like that on its own, so there's a trick to it. We are going, you don't need secateurs for this. Now with your thumb, we're going to be pressing against the Cymbidium head, and just like that it falls off. Look how easy that is. Now with the heads that have fallen onto the workbench area, I'm going to be introducing you to some stilettos. And this is what a stiletto looks like. Now it's a file that we use in floristry, but I'm going to be using it as an extension to the beautiful Cymbidium orchids. Well, there you have it, a beautiful and very fragrant long low arrangement. Doesn't it look fantastic? Now the big test is, what is this going to look like inside? So come with me and let's go and have a look. Now Cheryl, I have a surprise for you. Come this way.
Wow.
Your long low
Gorgeous.
fireplace arrangement.
Absolutely gorgeous. And it smells beautiful.
Sensational, isn't it?
Oh, smell Daphne.
Now Cheryl, I've saved the best surprise for last. Now I want you to come with me so I can show you. Okay. Now we've got Smithers Oasis products here, folks. They are the world leaders in floristry merchandise, and they have donated to Cheryl 10 wreaths, 60 Oasis bricks. Now Cheryl, a gesture just to say thank you on behalf of Flowers by Mercedes. This is a Flowers by Mercedes floristry toolbox.
Oh, thank you so much.
It's my pleasure, and thank you for having us here today.
Thank you.
Until next time,
Thanks.
We'll see you next time.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.
Well, thank you for joining me, folks. I'm your host, Mercedes Sarmini, and until next time, I'll be seeing you in your backyard. But before I forget, remember, good things come to those who flower.